Okay, hello everybody. I'm gonna start a recording for today. We're going through the information from the book, and um, if you have not yet got onto Google Classroom, this is the class code here, FA55W77. So enter that code in. If you've been putting messages up on here, that's fine. Just make sure you're not doing your personal conversations on here, just for questions and answers. You should have the link for downloading the book. It's down here in a post on March 16th. Has the link down here at the bottom to download the book. So download the book. I've been posting grades on School Loop, and if you've turned stuff in, I've submitted it on School Loop. If you gave me a document through Google Docs, I wrote something in there on red that I got your work, or I put great work, something like that. So good job, keep turning those in. And also, I replied on the Google Classroom. But it's easier if you email through School Loop. It's easier to get the assignment because if you're on the Google Classroom, a lot of messages go on there, and sometimes there's multiple comments. So just email through School Loop. So if you can get to your book here, I'll go over the information. It's going to be chapter 5, section 2. So it's going to be the last section was ending here, as you see on page 161. This will be 162. We went over some of this in class before you left. This one will be for probability. We talked about probability, like flipping a coin, and we did some experiments on that, so I'll skip through that. It talks about how likely event will occur. It's based on probability. I also showed you before we left on this break here the Punnett square, and I went over the rules for making Punnett squares. There's an old video on there about Punnett squares. I'll review on here as well. For Punnett squares, remember you're putting the mother's alleles on this side, father's alleles up here, and you would be combining them in together, like the capital R here for dominant R in here in this box, and then the lowercase r here, uppercase R here. So you just keep combining them in. There's an example down below. Make sure you know the definition of what a Punnett square is. And remember that keyword here is possible. It's showing the possible combinations, not actually what would happen for sure. And scrolling down now to page 165, it shows again the results of the Punnett square, where you put the different letters. On your next quiz, I'll be having you fill in a Punnett square based on this information. So make sure you study and review how to make these Punnett squares. There's another example here with like color for guinea pigs here, with the dark color here, dominant alleles. Remember, this would be a purebred dominant, two uppercase B's, and this would be a purebred recessive, two lowercase b's for this white fur. So all the offspring would have the brown or black fur. Remember a phenotype? It shows here phenotype is what actually is the characteristic, what's showing up, and the genotype is the alleles. I typed this into Google Classroom the other day before your assignment. Remember, homozygous would be two of the same, like a purebred, like two uppercase S's would be homozygous, or two lowercase S's would be homozygous. And then for heterozygous, you'd have one uppercase and one lowercase, like a hybrid, like I talked about before you left. Some of you are asking about the alleles combining together differently and having a mixture of the colors. So I mentioned codominance. If you remember, you probably want to write this down. It's going to have the alleles here that are neither dominant nor recessive. So if you have some like this, um, for this one here, both black and white feathers would appear. This would be codominance, meaning either one would show up, or both of them would show up. Neither would be dominant or recessive. Go ahead and just answer the review questions down here at the bottom. This is page 167. And you would either do it in Google Docs and post it or share it with me after you complete it in Google Docs. And if you submit on Google Docs and share with me, remember I'm going to type back any wrong answers or comments. I'll use like a red typing in there. And then if you just email the answers to me, that's fine as well. Just do it through School Loop. Don't just post them on Google Classroom. If you have questions, just email me, or you can ask your classmates on Google Classroom.